increase, in some cases a massive increase in violence, particularly around this gay sexual issue, massive shift in opinion in America. And I think that same kind of shift could now occur regarding racial issues.
Reverend Olson, it was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have been asked. Thank you.
Reverend Clark Olson is a civil rights activist, a Unitarian minister, and he joined us from WCQS in Asheville. You can find out more at our website, stateofthings.org. State of Things is produced by Laura Lee, Anita Rao, Hadi Mawagdi, and Will Michaels. Robin Copley is the technical director, Jess Clark, our intern, Brent Wolf, WUNC's news director. North Carolina Public Radio is a broadcast service of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I'm Frank Stasio.
Support for WCQS is provided by Carolina Day School, Asheville's co-ed independent secular day school, welcoming parents to an all-campus open house on Wednesday. With details at carolinaday.org/visit. I'm Josh Jordan. Thanks for tuning in. This is WCQS, member-supported radio for Western North Carolina. Stay with us for news headlines from National Public Radio. Coming up at 1:01. Then we'll have a conversation with Andy John and Mark Rudo about the upcoming Music of the Holocaust lecture given by Walter Ziffer at UNCA. And then we'll hear music in the 1 and 2 o'clock hour from Jewish composers and music that evokes Jewish themes and remembers the Holocaust. We'll hear from John Williams, the main theme from Schindler's List. We'll hear from Jewish Life, 3 sketches by Ernest Bloch, the Holocaust Suite by Morton Gould, and the Symphony No. 2 in D major by Victor Ullmann, a Jewish composer who did die in one of the concentration camps. That's all coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Hope you'll stay with us. Today's honorary day sponsor is the French Broad River Garden Club, hosting a public meeting and panel discussion featuring updates and insights from forestry experts about the health of Western North Carolina's mountains. That's this Friday morning at 10 in Tooten Hall at Trinity Episcopal.
This is WCQS Asheville, WFQS Franklin, WMQS Murphy, W209AD Clyde, W209AE Cullowhee, W213BX Brevard, W218AB Silva, W234AS Bryson City, W237AR Cherokee, W269AY Highlands, and W298AY Black.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Lakshmi Singh. Wisconsin is now the 25th state to enact right-to-work law over the strong objections of unions. Governor Scott Walker signed the legislation today. The new law takes effect immediately. It bans contracts that force all workers to pay union dues. Supporters say it'll bolster business investment and create jobs. Critics say it'll gut organized labor in the state. Students on the Norman campus of the University of Oklahoma are reacting with disbelief over a video of Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity brothers engaging in a racist chant about African Americans. The video went viral. It touched off-campus protests, an emergency meeting of university leadership, and swift condemnation from President David Boren is heard on KOTV.
This has broken my heart that this could happen on our campus. We have such a strong community. People respect each other. This is not representative of our students.
However, African American students who spoke with KOCO says she doubts this is an isolated incident.
Just the way they were just like shouting and just so prideful, and like it has to be more than just a local thing.
Christine Abbey speaking. The national chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon has shut down the local OU chapter. More survivors are testifying today in the Boston Marathon bombing trial of Jahar Sarnaev. Today, a woman whose close friend was killed described the panic following the first of 2 explosions. Don Ling Jo says she looked in front of her and saw a man whose legs were blown off. She says she later found out her friend Ling Ji-lu was killed. Among 3 fatalities that day. The defense does not dispute Tsarnaev did it, but they're arguing that he was influenced by his older brother. Canadian and Iraqi officials are differing in their accounts of an incident that led to the death of a Canadian military advisor. NPR's Alice Fordham reports Iraqi officials say their fighters were not expecting the Canadians' arrival and opened fire.
One Iraqi Kurdish official said the Canadians showed up unexpectedly on the front lines near Mosul and were mistaken for men from the self-styled Islamic State. Their actions were improper and illogical, he said. But CBC reports a government source saying the 4 special forces were a couple hundred meters from the front line and had pre-arranged a rendezvous with Kurdish troops. Special forces don't freelance, said the source, who was not named. Canadian Defence Minister Jason Kenney called for cooperation.
We would ask that the Kurdish authorities, rather than speculating about this, cooperate with our inquiries so that we can get to the bottom of this terribly tragic accident and ensure that it does not happen again.
Kenny says 2 investigations have been opened. Alice Fordham, NPR News.
At last check on Wall Street, Dow is up 133 points at 17,990. NASDAQ gaining 6 points since the open. It's at 4933. S&P 500 up 8 at 2,079. This is NPR News. McDonald's sales continue to drop. Fast food chain today said same-store sales in the U.S. decreased 4% last month. NPR's Yuki Noguchi reports this comes just after the company replaced its CEO.
It's been a week since McDonald's installed its new CEO, Steve Easterbrook, at the helm, hoping he will come up with a new formula to resuscitate sales. February's sales numbers showed a sharper decline than analysts expected. It underscores the difficulty of a turnaround as well. The company built its global empire on cheap, fast food, but now finds it's losing business to competitors offering healthier, customized options. McDonald's has experimented with healthier and more complex menu items, but without success. Globally, the chain's sales fell 1.7% last month. Yuki Noguchi, NPR News, Washington.
We're coming off a generally slow weekend at the box office in the U.S. and in Canada, but NPR's Trina Williams says Chappie was the top draw.
The #1 movie earns an estimated $13.3 million in ticket sales.
I don't want to die. I want to live.
Chappie is a sci-fi action feature about a human-like robot.
A thinking robot could be the end of mankind.
Sigourney Weaver, Dev Patel, and Hugh Jackman portray central roles. Another new wide-release, Unfinished Business, also failed to attract many moviegoers, finishing 10th. Last weekend's winner, Focus, dips to 2nd place. Holdovers Kingsman, The Secret Service, and the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water fall to 4th and 5th. On a bright note, American Sniper becomes the highest-grossing movie of the year, surpassing The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. Trina Williams, NPR News.
This is NPR.
Support for NPR comes from Kaspersky, giving 400 million individuals and organizations the power to protect against cyber criminals, hackers, and other internet threats. Learn more at Kaspersky.com. That's KASPERSKY.com.
It's 6 minutes past 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. This is WCQS, 88.1 in Asheville and Hendersonville, and 94.7 in Bryson City. Or you can hear us anywhere in the world at WCQS.org. I'm Josh Jordan, glad to be with you on this Monday afternoon, and hope you'll stay with us for music that was inspired by and remembers the Holocaust and by Jewish composers, including the main theme to Schindler's List by John Williams, From Jewish Life by Ernest Bloch, hear the Holocaust Suite by Morton Gould, and the Symphony No. 2 in D major by Victor Ullmann, who was killed in one of the concentration camps in 1945. That's all coming up this hour. Also coming up, it's Music of the Holocaust, coming up on March 25th, Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock at UNCA, featuring the band Bandana Klezmer, and a brief talk with Holocaust survivor Walter Ziffer. Here to talk about this event, we have